There are 7 chords in the major key. If we are in C major, we will have the C major, the D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, the B diminished, and back to the C. Now when it comes to songwriting and chord progression, we kind of leave the diminished chord out because it doesn't really sound great on its own. And I know that because I have so many videos talking about chord progressions, and we always leave out the diminished chord. Now today we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to overuse it. In fact, I was playing a C major 7 chord, a C sharp diminished 7 chord, D minor 7 chord, D sharp diminished 7 chord, and an E minor 7 chord, F major 7, and then G sharp diminished 7, and the B diminished 7. Now what's the difference between the major, minor, and diminished chord? The major chord will have the root note, major third, and perfect fifth. It's a beautiful chord, sounds really positive and happy. The minor chord will have the root note, minor third, and fifth. It sounds sad and dark, but it's still like a pleasant chord to play. The diminished chord will have the root note, the minor third, and the diminished fifth. If we play on 3 different strings, it sounds really tense and unresolved. Now the big brother of the diminished chord is the diminished 7th chord, which is even worse because we have the root note, the minor third, diminished 5th, and the diminished 7th. This is a C diminished 7th chord. I mean, you can't really use this chord by itself. So the best way to put this chord into practice is to use it as a bridge chord or a passing chord. Now we're going to be playing the C major 7th chord, and we're going to use the C sharp diminished 7th chord as a passing chord. Now put down the C major 7th chord, which is the fret 3, 5, 4, and 5. And the finger picking pattern is this one. We're going to do it without the thumb slap, and then I'll show you how to do it with the percussion as well. So put down the chord, and then we have thumb, index, middle, index. Then we're going to pick the chord simultaneously with thumb, index, middle, and ring. But we're going to get rid of the little finger and play the fret number 3 on the B string. Then a hammer on the fret number 5 with the little finger, the E string. Okay, I'm putting down a bar chord on fret 3. So then I have the picking pattern on the A string, G string, B string, and E string. So 5, 3, 2, and 1. And a hammer on the fret number 5 on the E string, and the E string again on fret number 3. When I do it slowly, you can also add the thumb slap, which is going to be played right before the hammer on the B string fret 5. Now after this chord, we're going to use the C sharp diminished 7th chord, which is going to be played like this. So fret number 4, 5, 3, and 5. After this, the D minor 7 chord. Now we're going to put down a bar chord on fret number 5. We have 5, 7, 5, and 6. We're going to pick the chord simultaneously without the middle finger. So we're going to play the fret 5 on the B string, and then a quick hammer on the fret number 5. Now after this chord, we're going to repeat the same picking pattern as the C major 7th chord. So I have thumb, index, middle, index, A, D, G, and B string with a hammer on E string, and then the A, G, B, and E string with a hammer on fret number 8 and the E string. When we put the whole thing together slowly, now we're going to have the same thing, D sharp diminished 7th chord, fret number 6, 7, 5, and 7. And we do the same thing on the E minor 7th chord, just like the D minor 7. So we put down the chord, bar chord on the fret number 7, 7, 9, 7, 8. We start with a hammer on, and then the arpeggio, Now the hammer-on is on the E string fret number 10 here. We're not going to be using the diminished chord here. We're just going to play the E minor 7 again. So, and the next beautiful chord is the F major 7 chord. We're going to play it like this, just the fret number 10, sorry, 8, 10, 9, and 10. Now here we have the same finger picking pattern, so we basically pick the chord simultaneously without the little finger, and then a hammer on the B string fret number 10, and then we have just half of the finger picking pattern. So thumb, index, middle, and index, and then we have the A, D, G, and B string without the little finger, and a hammer on the fret number 10. And then the E string. So let's just quickly recap. Now we're going to play two diminished seventh chord on a different set of strings. We have the G sharp diminished 7 and the B diminished 7. On the D string fret number 6, 7, 6, 7. And I'm just arpeggiating this chord with thumb, index, middle, and ring. Then I'm gonna slide this chord all the way up to the fret number 9, and I have 9, 10, 9, 10. And then I have the A minor chord, which is played more with a phrase than the actual full chord. So I have the A minor played like this. You have the A string open, the G string fret number 9, and the E string fret number 8. And I'm arpeggiating this chord. Thumb, index, ring, and index. Then I have the thumb, slap, and strum with the E string fret number 8, 10, and 12. And then the bass note again with fret number 10, and a hammer on fret number 12, fret number 10, and fret number 8. And then the B string fret number 8 with a hammer on the fret number 10. You want to be really rhythmic and use the thumb slap if you can, because it does give way more rhythm to the phrase. Next chord, the E minor. The same phrase, the same rhythm, just over a different chord. So the E minor chord, low E string, the D string fret number 9, and the B string fret number 8. Same arpeggio, thumb, index, ring, and index. And we have thumb slap and strum on the B string fret number 8. The B string fret number 10 with a hammer on. The E string fret number 7, and then we have the G string fret number 9 and the E string fret number 8. Back to the E string fret number 7, and the same hammer on with the B string fret number 8, thumb, slap, and strum, and a hammer on the fret number 10, and we go back to the fret number 8. Now this is the most challenging part because we are playing single notes with the thumb, slap, and strum. So now from here we go back to the F major 7. And this is pretty cool because we're going to be playing the same picking pattern that we learn on the C major 7 chord. So we're only gonna add the B string, the hammer on the B string fret number 10. So and we finish with 3 diminished 7th chord. So the D string fret number 6, 7, 6, 7. And we're gonna arpeggiate this chord just like we did before. Thumb, index, middle, and ring. So it's fret number 6, 9, 6, 4. And we can repeat the whole thing again. That's it, guys, for today. We learned how to use the diminished chord in a chord progression. Now, take it really step by step. The chords are not super simple, I know that. Get rid of the thumb, slap, and strum. Just practice the chords, and also familiarize yourself with the sound of the diminished chord. Just put down the chord and play it a couple of times. Just try to train your ears to this chord. Seriously, it's not like a chord that we use all the time, right? Now, good luck with this chord progression, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time for another lesson.